everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would show you all of the books that I read in February, and I'd just like to apologise now if you can hear dogs barking or people talking. I've got one of my AirPods in to hopefully use as a microphone. I'm hoping it's that, because last time in my first video when I used my headphones that it was like my hair was over it and it was disastrous. Well, it wasn't disastrous, but it just didn't work how I wanted it to work. So I'm hoping that you're not going to be able to hear too much noise. Hoping this is going to work as a microphone to some degree. If not, all I can do is apologise. I'm sure it'll be annoying, but we can be annoyed together, so that is good. But like I said, I'm going to be showing you all the books that I read in February. I read 6, and yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and as you can tell, I'm really excited about this. It was so good. It was such a good book. I'm pretty sure I started reading it maybe at the end of January. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I did start reading it in February. I can't express enough how much I love this book. I bought in my haul, which would have been up last Friday. I bought the last 2. I'm so excited to read them in half term. Hopefully, I don't know whether I don't want to be annoying and be like, oh, I have AirPods, because I know that can be annoying to some people, but I just feel more comfortable with my hair behind my ears, so I hope that doesn't annoy anyone. But in half term I'm going to plan and do a day readathon where I can read both of them. I absolutely loved it. I just love the story, I love the world, I love how it has maps in it. I was messaging my friend about how I was obsessed with the chapter title, the design, because it's mushrooms, toadstools. It's just, I love everything about this book. So I absolutely love Jude and Carden, and I love how Jude she doesn't need saving. She's not particularly good. She's not selfish, but she's doing everything for herself to make herself, which I find really cool and refreshing. She's not I don't feel like she's working towards anything for the greater good of anyone. I think she's just working for herself, which I just think is really cool, and I feel like I haven't really read much of that in any of the fantasy books I've read before. But saying that, I haven't actually read that many fantasy books. This is definitely my favourite book now though. Carden, I can't get over how horrible they were to her. I'm going to try not to give any spoilers in this wrap up, because I'm sure that would be sucky. I just really enjoyed the story, and I just can't wait for reading the next ones. Next I read Serpent and Derv by Shelby Maherin. I hope I'm saying that right. If anybody knows, please correct me. Like I say, I probably get a lot of these things wrong, so if anybody can correct me, please do so in the comments. So I read all of this in one morning. I was meant to do a readathon for that the weekend, but I ended up being a bit ill. But I've read all of this in one morning, and it was a wild ride. It was sorry if you can hear dogs barking. It was watching a TV series from front to back, and I guess people call it a book hangover. That's how I felt. I definitely I felt like I needed to tell someone about it, but nobody else had read it, because my mum and dad don't read. I have to admit, sometimes in this book I was a little bit confused, and it sometimes everything was kind of sweet and cute. I enjoyed all of it, but some of it was did it really have to happen? But then again, I feel I'd be complaining if it didn't happen, because I often feel I'm missing out on lots of the cute romancy bits, and I feel there was quite a bit of cutesy romance in this. I am excited to read the next one. However, some of the plot things I didn't want to happen. I'm not sure if anybody else has this, but when something happens, you just will alter the line of the story. You don't want to read it anymore. You will read it, but you're just kind of annoyed that it happened. And towards the end of this book, that's how I felt, because something was just did it really need to happen? Maybe it'll make more sense in the next one, but I was just I don't know. I just didn't like a certain thing. I'm not sure if anybody maybe I could do if I read both of them, I could do my full thoughts on it, but I don't know. I just didn't vibe with a certain bit. But other than that, it was a good book. I enjoyed it. Then I read Room by Emma Donoghue. Now, I'm absolutely obsessed with the film Room, to the point where I can quote bits of it, and I will quote bits of it to my mother and she won't know what I'm talking about. But with this book, it felt like it took me ages to read, and I think that's because it's such a heavy book. It's just emotionally draining, but I'm glad I read it, because obviously I wanted to see more of the story than in Room, and I have to admit I do think I prefer the storyline of the book now that I have read it. I think there's a lot more interesting parts, and this is naturally, it will happen because they have to cut things out of films, but I just really enjoyed it. It's definitely one that I think could be like triggering to people, so that's something, if you want to read it, like I feel like people kind of know what it's about, but if that's something you want to read, I'd definitely look into it because it has more in it than just the film. So that, I think there's websites where you can check like content warnings, so I definitely recommend doing that. I'd recommend doing that with any book though, because you never know. I do have to say that I think it was strange reading from the point of view of a 5-year-old, and I don't think that it was fully realistic from a 5-year-old's point of view, just because some of the words that he used were so like sophisticated that I didn't know what they meant, which was like weird for a 5-year-old. But then again, he's like been around his mum, so she's probably taught him more, because if he's not been around other children, then if you've spoken to by adults your entire life, you're more eloquent naturally, I think. I did enjoy it. Like I said, it was really quite like a struggle to get through, because I probably was reading it for like 4 days, but it felt like I was reading it for weeks. An exaggeration, but yeah, I did just feel like a really long time to get through, and some of it kind of wasn't boring, it was just a bit slow, and like it just wasn't like a nice one, like it's part of it's made me feel a bit sick. But I think that's what you're signing up for when you read it. But I would recommend if you'd like to read it, if it's something you're interested in. Then I read Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I fell in love with this book as well. I don't know what it is about these fantasy books. It must be because does this one have a map in? I'm pretty sure it has a map in. If it has a map in, I'm all for it. Maybe it doesn't. No, it doesn't have a map. But the town was called Whimsy. It was so cute. The romance was everything. I love this book so much. I've done like a journal page of it, which looks awful, but I've ordered some more like journaling things from Shein, so if maybe I could do like a haul of that one day, or just going through like the journaling stuff that I've got recently, because I'm really like getting into book journaling. Everything's ugly, but I'm having fun with it, so that's the main part. I realised that I'm not really saying much about the plot of these, which could be an issue, but I'll start now. So this is about Isabel and Rook. Rook is the Autumn Prince, and Isabel is a painter, and basically fairies can't do anything like craft related. They can't cook, they can't paint, they can't do anything. And Isabel paints, like kind of falls in love with Rook, and paints him, but she puts like human emotion, like human sorrow in his eyes, which is like a big no-no. So it's kind of like an adventure after that, but it's just so cute and romantic. However, I do have to admit, I didn't notice like that they were in love with each other. That's like kind of like towards the start, so I don't think it classes as a spoiler. I'm really sorry if it is, but like I feel like they didn't just kind of show they were in love, they kind of just said it. But I guess like I believed them, so that's like the main part. I just really enjoyed reading this. I have so many tabs in it, like I just kept on tabbing the parts that I thought was cute. I did purple because I feel like purple matched the vibe. I'm really excited to read Sorcerer of Thorns, because I just really like her writing and I think it was actually quite funny. Then I read Bunny by Mona Awad. I don't know, I kind of hated this, and I think it was good and I think it was interesting, but it like scared me a lot, and I still don't get it. I feel like it's very like metaphor-y, very like artsy. It's not artsy, but like, it's very like metaphor-y, and my brain just sometimes doesn't compute that. Like if there's like a plot twist, like with We Were Liars, like I got it because it was like kind of explained better, but if it's not explained then I have no idea what's going on, and I just assume that like the twist or the metaphor didn't happen. But this made me feel sick from the halfway mark to the end. So weird, so creepy. It's about a girl called Samantha, and like she's like adopted into this group of girls. She's like doing like her master's degree, I think, and she's adopted into this group of girls who call each other Bunny, and there's whole reasons behind it, and it's all wild and it's scary, and I just wanted to get it over and done with, because like I kept on telling my mum like, this is like making me feel ill, and she was like, just stop reading it then. But like I didn't want to. I wanted to finish. I wanted to find out what happened. But I don't know, it was cool, but it definitely was like, I wanted it to be over very quickly. I feel like that's what I'm going to be like. I've never watched like a horror film before, but I feel like that's what I'll be like. I like reading the Wikipedia plots for everything, so I don't have to, I can know what's going on, but I don't actually have to see it. But I can't remember what I rated this. I can't remember what I rated any of these, but my Goodreads is always linked in the description box. It's just like, I've just got like, that's the only link in there. So if you want to see what I rated this, then like you can go see there. But yeah, like it just kind of freaked me out. I think I thought it was YA and it's not, unless it is, but like it just kind of scared me, and now I can't see rabbits in the same way. So then I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. It's so good. I know, like, it's such a sweet book. I love it. I literally loved it. I have so many tabs. Most of them are for the twins because I just think they're funny. But I bent the cover of mine. Mine's in the Ravenclaw edition. I understand, like, of course I understand why everyone loves Harry Potter, but now I've read it, like, I don't understand why I didn't read it when I was younger. It was so good. It was so good. I feel like I don't really need to talk much about Harry Potter because it's like, I feel like most people have read it. I think what I'm going to do with this one as well is once I've finished reading them all, I'll do a video on my thoughts on all of them. But it was such a nice read, and I said this, I think I said this in a video when I was speaking about the Chamber of Secret Box. So my last video, my first haul video, which should have been up on Friday. It was such a refreshing read after reading Bunny, which was just emotionally draining. And it was just so like, I don't know, it's such an, I felt so like excited to be reading it finally, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the ones. I think I'm going to lend them to my grandma as well, because I think she'll be like excited to read them. But it's Harry Potter. It was so good. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I didn't say so good, amazing, just those words over and over again, because I just get really excited about books. And I feel like I just recommend every book I read to you guys, but it's just, they're so good. These ones I read this month were really like, a lot of them were really exciting books. And a lot of them were like ones that like, kind of the bigger ones, which I hadn't read yet, because this was like mainly from the haul of when I'd like gotten into more like booktube, book TikTok. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. My copy of the Octonumi, I think that's what it's called, should be coming soon, so that should be the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, my Goodreads will be in the description box, and I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, whatever. Bye!